Are the Kentucky Wildcats a dark horse to make a Final Four run? Well, Andy Katz thinks so, and that is going to be the conversation on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by my co-host, Carson Nash. Vibes are high today. It's Banners Day. We're feeling good. We're fired up. How are we feeling, Carson?
Yeah, it's good. Thursday night's always a good kickoff to the weekend. You still got Friday work, but it's not as challenging as the rest of the week. So it's a good time.
The group's going to be a little light today, though.
Yeah, unfortunately. You want to tell them about it?
Well, when I got the text from our good buddy Cam Boffman that said, "Can't make it to Banners tonight. Me and my girlfriend are going to Build-A-Bear." I said, "There's no dude. Come on. You can't miss Banners." But it's what's happening. I hope they have a good time and Build-A-Bear, but we'll see what happens. Oh, I got a question for you before we get into this. Very important question. I just bought a new set of sheets. When you buy a new set of sheets, do you put them straight on the bed or do you wash them first?
Wash them first.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So do I. But let's get right into this, Carson. Andy Katz, someone in this industry who I respect a ton. Some call him he possesses a lot of knowledge of ball in his cranium.
He's a ball knower.
And he made a top 10 list of teams, dark horse teams to make a Final Four run. And the Cats. Now, I don't know how much the ranking on this he listed it 1 through 10. I don't know if he's 1 through 10 is his confidence or if he just listed 10 teams. He doesn't really specify. Now, Kentucky is third on that list. So if that's the case, great, because we're near the top of it. But Kentucky's on that list, Carson. It goes Indiana, Arkansas, Kentucky, Rutgers, Creighton, Arizona, Illinois, Ohio State, Florida, and Cincinnati. So, Carson, what I want to hear from you is, your thoughts on us being on this list, and then also just flat out, I mean, are you a believer in this? Do you buy it?
Yeah. Well, I think first off, I think the list that he gave is a pretty good list. As much as I don't like Arkansas and Indiana, I think both those teams are dark horse Final Four teams, and you have to be in that category. That term dark horse. It's one of those teams that you don't expect to make the Final Four, and they make a run. Like Arkansas and Kentucky, both switching head coaches, getting brand new teams, pretty much. But both are going to be really good teams, and both have a really good chance at going to a Final Four because they have the talent and the teams to do so. And Indiana being on there is a little bit of a shock just because it's Indiana and they haven't really been good at basketball in some time. But I think it's a good list. I think the Cats belong on this list, in my opinion, because, I mean, we started off ranked as the 23rd team in the country. So, yeah, if we made a Final Four, we would technically be a dark horse, even though I probably wouldn't view it as that, because Kentucky being a dark horse is not really a thing. We're never a dark horse. You'll see us coming. It'll be a train on the tracks, and you better get out the way.
Yeah. I mean, Carson, this is, and we're going to stay on this topic, but I want to move it to something I've seen a lot. Even in our comments, Carson, I see a lot of folks, and hey, this is America. You are welcome to, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I see a lot of Kentucky fans that just don't seem optimistic about this team. And normally the vibe isn't there. Not that they're not optimistic about Coach Pope or the future of the program, but it's like this season. And, and if you're one of those Kentucky fans, let us know why in the comments. I'd love to hear why. But I just don't. When I look at this basketball team, especially talking about, hey, could they be a dark horse, make a Final Four run? This team, to me, and it's something we've discussed, Carson, it's a topic. It's almost a little cliche at this point, but they have the makeup of a Final Four team. That is what this team looks like. They look like a team who is capable with veteran leadership and experience playing under the bright lights of the NCAA tournament, playing under the bright lights of March Madness. They have that. And something I think we even talked about, maybe it was last week, maybe it was Tuesday, I don't remember, but I brought up the point of like, last year, Reed Shepherd was awesome, and he had a bad game against Oakland. This stuff happens. Like these young freshmen, I don't care how good you are, having experience in the big dance matters. To me, it matters a ton. And this basketball team is chock full of players that have that so very important experience playing in this tournament. So, you know, I'm fired up about this team because I believe they have all of the pieces to make the run that we're talking about right now. I wrote an article about this over on my website, Kentucky Wildcats on SI today, literally about something Coach Pope said and all the SEC coaches. The SEC is the best league in college basketball. There's no debate to it. You got 9 teams ranked. This was a short conversation we had on Tuesday. But the reason that's important to me is I think that a lot, and this might not just be Kentucky. This could be the Alabama and the Auburns and the Tennessees, all the good SEC teams. But I think that you're going to look at the record and you're going to go, they got 9-10 losses. But I think that's going to help. I think that the non-conference and SEC slate is built to help this team get ready for this type of run. And then once they get there, I think they've got the roster to be able to make a run like this.
I agree. And I think you made a great point. I like having the experience instead of not having the experience. Yeah. I would take that any day of the week. And when you're captain, Lamont Butler probably has the most tournament experience out of every one of the players. Yeah. That also helps because he's going to lead the team. He's going to show them he's been there, done that before.
Literally, yeah.
Everything that goes into that, into being a leader. And he has that experience. Like it's going to be a perfect storm, in my opinion. You have everything you need on this team. And yeah, I mean, let's be honest, right? The March Madness is the craziest tournament ever. Like there's nothing you could expect. Like everything happens. Like, I mean, look at us last year. Golke hitting 1,500 threes against us. No one thought that was going to happen except us before the game. We were like, maybe, but having the experience and having the players that have been through that and the ups and downs of what that entails is huge. It's huge.
I think that, March Madness, you're right. Kentucky loses to Oakland. You see other SEC schools. Auburn loses to Yale. Mark Pope last year as a good seed loses to his school that if you gave me an hour and a half and all of the letters in front of me and said, spell it, I couldn't do it. It's March Madness. And that is why I'd say the Masters, you talk about a Mount Rushmore of sporting events. The Masters, 100% March Madness, probably now the 12-team playoff. Probably was the 14 playoff still on there. Super Bowl. March Madness is one of the best events in sports, not college sports, sports in general. And because of games like that, you losing to a Duquesne, losing to Oakland, it's what makes it special. There's nothing guaranteed in the NCAA tournament. But on the flip side of that coin, it's the argument of Kentucky could go in as a 5 seed, as a 6 seed, a 7 seed, and make a run in this tournament. Because I'm just telling you, you put this team in that field, I believe they can make a run. And I'll tell you this, I don't care what the record is. I don't care who they've beaten, who they've lost to. I believe this team, knowing the makeup of it, is going to be able to make a run in the tournament. Don't care if they're a 15 seed or a 1 seed. I believe they can make a run in this tournament. Final Four. Now, if you ask me, Andrew, what's the % chance you think Kentucky goes to a Final Four? I'm probably going to say 5%. None of us, Carson and I, are not sitting here saying, oh yeah, lock it in, catch going to the Final Four. No. But
there's so many things that have to happen for you to get to that point. And the bounces have to go the right way. Mm-hmm. Injuries, you can't have many injuries. There's so much that goes into it that it's such a slim chance that you get to go. That's why it's so special when you do.
Yeah, exactly. And but just speaking on what we've gotten used to as Kentucky fans with these basketball teams over this last how long Cal was here for, 12 years, whatever. We've gotten used to incredibly talented young players and sometimes the bright lights are a little too bright. And then there's been years where they weren't, you know what I mean? And that's part of it. It can go either way. But I do think you give yourself a better chance going into the tournament with veteran leadership. Once again, and I'll say this right now, and this is not a biased take. I don't think it's a crazy take. I would take right now, heading into the tournament, I would take, if the tournament was tomorrow, if you gave me last year's Kentucky team or this year's, I'm taking this year's, because I think tournament experience is that valuable. It means that much to me. It really does. Some people might say it doesn't matter. I don't buy that for half a second. I don't budge on that statement. I think it matters that much, and this team has it in droves. I mean, plenty of experience, and it's going to lead. I'll tell you this. I would put a lot of money. If I had it, I would put it on Kentucky to make a Sweet 16. Final Four is where I get a little scared, but Sweet 16,
yeah,
I'm ready to lock that in.
You need experience for sure, but it's not the only thing. You need experience, you need talent, and you need chemistry. Those three things make your team run. Those three things will help us get to the point where we want to be at the end of the season.
You know, the other point, speaking of the chemistry there, Carson, I think my number one takeaway before the start of his first season as Kentucky's head basketball coach from Mark Pope is what he has done getting this team to be a family. I mean, it's just really, really special how close this team has gotten. I mean, we've played sports our whole life, Carson. I mean, it's not easy to get that close that quick. These guys are best buddies. And it's not fake it till you make it. These guys are best buddies like that. And Coach Pope, and he's discussed this in press conferences, he went out of his way to make that a reality. I am incredibly impressed with that. And I'll tell you this. If you're going to listen to anything that we say all day, listen to this. If this team does this, if they go on a Final Four run, if they, goodness gracious, win the whole darn thing, if they bring home number 9, I'm not going to chop it up to coaching. I'm not going to chop it up to how great our offense is, how good our shooters are, how great of a defender Lamont. Don't care. What is going to matter is how close Coach Pope was able to get this team together in a short period of time. And that, to me, says a lot about him as a coach and the future of this program.
Yeah, I agree. And it's been remarkable. And I wouldn't even say they're best buds. It seems like almost brothership, at this point. And that's huge because, you combat your brother's weaknesses with your strengths and your weaknesses with their strengths, and you become one unit. And that's how you get to the glory. If you're all looking out for all of each other and their weaknesses, their strengths, and you love them, you support them, you're going to do everything in your power to win for them and win with them. And I think that'll take this Kentucky team to new heights. And I think you might lose out on some of the talent, because you don't have the flashy 5 stars and all those guys this year. But I mean, you will get there. You will get there. But I think the chemistry will really take care of those weaknesses, in my opinion.
And, and it kind of reminds me what Cam's going to be doing tonight at Build-A-Bear. I mean, it's he's really good at putting the stuffing in.
Yep.
He's really good at putting the little message inside of it.
Yep.
But, there's going to be parts where he's not great at it, and he's going to need a little help.
He might not be good at the delivery, and that's where I am. I'll be like, here is the bear.
Yeah.
And Cam will just sit. Okay.
Listen, I'm going to catch a stray here in a minute, so don't feel bad for Cam Boff because it's going to get bad for me in a minute when the Godfather Mike has something to say. So stick around, Boff. Don't turn it off yet, buddy. We got something coming for you. But that's my takeaway from this, Carson. Is it's just going to be a special season, and I think what Coach Pope has done this year. Carson, maybe we're going to – now this team's going to make the tournament. I believe that. I'm not concerned about that. Maybe they lose in the round of 32, okay? It could happen. 100% could happen. But if that happens, first of all, Coach Pope's getting the he can't win in March off his back quickly. And he's proven that he can get a roster to come together quickly, and that stuff's going to matter. I don't think it'll matter as much in the future as it's going to matter this year, but you still got to get players that haven't played with each other. Let's say you bring in 4 or 5 players. Let's say you bring in 4 players recruiting class. You bring in 2 transfers. So you got 6 new guys, and then you bring 6 guys back next year. Still a lot of gelling that has to go on. And that's part of it. And Coach Pope's proven that he can get his rosters to gel, his team to gel, and them to become brothers, like you said. So,
and that's huge because, like I said, I think that was one of the biggest struggle points with Calipari and his teams. So when you get the opposite of that, it's kind of nice. It's kind of refreshing. Agreed.
I am with you on that. The last thing we want to talk about when it comes to hoops before we get on to those darn toothy Gators is Matt Norlander of CBS Sports, another good writer, ranked the top 100 teams. And I want to get the title for this article so we can really – college basketball rankings, CBS Sports top 101, best teams for the 24-25 season. So this came out today. He has the Wildcats 15th. And it seems – and I'll tell you this. Now let's compare that to the SEC. He's really high on Tennessee, and which bad decision, young man. He's got Alabama 1. And then you go down, I believe he's got Tennessee here at 8, excuse me. And then he's got the Cats at 15. So if my math's right, that means he has them as the 3rd best team in the SEC. And the blurb, I'm not going to read the blurb. It's basically just talking about, he doesn't like talk about why he ranked them. It's more like Coach Pope brought in these players and, that kind of thing. But, I think it's cool to see because we talked about how I think that when we talked about the AP poll, Carson, on Tuesday, we discussed how I felt that anywhere from 18 to 25 was a fair place to have the Cats. They, of course, end up 23. I think it's a fair place. You could say I saw some too highs. I saw some too lows in the comments. Yeah. All fair opinions. But I think it's cool to see someone that's high on the Cats.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with him on that. Y'all might say, it's too high, and that's fair. But it's cool to see that there are people, once again, another guy I respect in this industry, that is high on this basketball team and its future. So what are your thoughts on Norlander having the Cats 15th, Carson, and 3rd in the SEC?
Well, I think Norlander is a genius.
Yeah.
Those are my first thoughts. No. But yeah, I really think anywhere from I'd say 13, 14 to 25 range, anywhere in there is a respectable ranking, in my opinion. I think he's more on the upper side of that, which definitely is a fair place to put him. But, I mean, when you look at it, this team on paper doesn't have many weaknesses. And we play a very fast game of basketball. We're going to shoot a lot, and we're going to shoot well. And we're going to play hard defense. And he thinks that's going to equate into a lot of success. And I do too. So, I mean, I agree with him. Now, I would probably put them more 17, 18, that area. But I don't mind him putting them at 15 because, heck, you beat Duke and you're already at 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're already there. So I respect the ranking, and it is cool. I agree.
Yeah.
There's both sides of this, right? There's media that really respects the Cats, and then there's media that doesn't and doesn't even have them ranked. But I respect it. That's the one I'm going to go with. It just seems better to me, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. You ready to move on to a little foosball here?
Yep.
All right. Cats are going to Gainesville to play the Florida Gators on.
And I won't back down.
Okay, here we go.
We got a late night at the Swamp.
Mm-hmm. 7:45 kick against the Gators. Carson, I will tell you, for the first time this season, am stumped on how this football game is going to go. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It is cool to bring up that we've won 3 in a row, though. That's pretty cool to bring up.
No one we've lost 1 million in a row down there, so now we've beat them. It's pretty cool. I agree with you.
Yeah. No, but Graham Mertz went out with an injury last game. He won't be playing. They're going to go to their backup star, DJ Lagway. He's freshman phenom, which worries me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I honestly probably would have rather played them with Mertz at the helm. I don't know if you agree with me or not, Andrew.
Say that again. You say you'd rather than be playing Mertz than Lagway?
Yeah.
It is the definition. It is, will I put Raheed Shaheed in my fantasy football lineup? The boom or the bust. Will I play Gabe Davis? It is that type of decision. DJ Lagway, I promise you this. In this football game, he's going to do 3 things where you go, what the hell are you doing, dude? And then he's going to do 5 things where you go, well, there's a Heisman candidate for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is going to be for Kentucky to make it as many, what are we doing, dude, type of plays rather than, oh, goodness gracious, this dude's getting ready to transfer to Bama and win a national championship.
Yeah.
You need to have more plays like the first scenario rather than the second. Kid special, Carson. Have you watched much of them? Lagway?
Oh, yeah. And I've watched a bunch of them, and I with my Florida Gators dynasty, shout out Hargis, but that's the team I'm running with. So Lagway is my QB.
So kid's good. I mean, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. I think that if Mertz plays, it would been a tight game. He's a great game manager. He can win you a football game, but he's liable to make a bad decision.
Thrown hundreds of dollars on the under if Mertz would have played.
Yes. And although frankly at 40.5, that's a really scary line.
I think that would hit with Mertz as the quarterback. You got to think they're both, him and Brock, both game managing the game. It would be 10-7.
Yeah. It's 42.5, by the way. I was wrong. But just the point about Lagway, kid special. Very simple. He's going to do some boneheaded things. We talk about it. I mean, the dude had prom 5 months ago. Like, you know what I mean? He is new to this. And he's played not a ton. I mean, look at his numbers he's played a good amount. But what I'm saying is it's not like he started every game.
Yeah.
On the year so far, he's got 765 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He can use his legs a little bit. He's carried the football 24 times for 50 yards. He has been sacked for 36 yards. So obviously you would, if it was this with the NFL, you would, add that.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can move with his legs a little bit. So you got to think about it. It's like a Jackson Dart type of speed to me, because Lagway is a pocket guy, but if he gets outside of it,
he's one of those guys that uses his legs to create plays.
Exactly. And if there's green grass, he'll take it. But that's not what he's looking to do. Mm-hmm. Like Milroe or some other quarterbacks in the SEC that like to use their legs more.
Yeah.
Or in college football. But Florida has good players. I'll tell you this, Florida is a good roster with a bad coach. And also have you seen their schedule, Carson? Like the schedule Florida has played so far?
Isn't it miserable?
I got to read this because it's genuinely like that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, Samford is, that obviously that's not Samford, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, UCF, Tennessee, Kentucky, at Georgia, at Texas, LSU at home, Ole Miss at home, at Florida State. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, at Florida State looked a lot scarier than it is now. But point is, Gator fans, I'm sorry. I mean, that is.
I'm so sorry. And Louisville fans, look at that. A real schedule. Y'all would go like 3-9 there.
Louisville fans, not sorry for anything. Go kick rocks. But, tough schedule. But so Lagway, he played a lot. He's played in the game against, have you seen the stats against Samford? Now, okay, it is Samford. But my golly, look at these numbers. 18 for 25 for 456 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran for 16 yards. He plays a little bit against A&M. They did their whole, this guy, then this guy, then this guy thing, which is stupid. G5 Billy, that's why you are going to be gone soon.
Hey, I got a question for you. You think if we beat them, you think he's gone?
It's a weird, what's funny? What makes that situation tough for them to me? Lagway.
I think so too.
Because if I'm
them, I can Billy. and I go higher lane and tell Lagway, look,
That's
who
the
you
only.
got.
Yeah, oh man, that would be problematic.
If I'm the AD over there, that's what I do, or at
Yeah,
least try to
but
do.
if I'm a Florida fan or a Florida booster, what I'm scared about is, okay, we love Lagway, we hate Billy. We're gonna get rid of Billy. Lagway's going to Alabama. He's going to Georgia. This is over. You know what I mean? He's not doing that.
Oh, he's
So
going somewhere big.
that's what I'd be scared about. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if this game. I mean,
He's going up 75 to Lexington.
Billy Napier is?
No, Lagway.
Oh, okay.
I hope so.
I thought you meant Napier, and I'm like, well, I'll take Stoops. What are you talking about?
Oh no, yeah,
No, thank you.
Over Napier.
I thought you were getting ready to say, give me Napier, and I'm like, okay, we need to never. Someone needs to take away our microphones because we should never be allowed to speak again.
No, thanks.
Yeah, but so I mean, this game to me, very simple. How Lagway plays. I don't think it's how Brock plays. I don't think it's how our offense plays. We'll talk about a guy on offense that could make a difference in a minute. Don't care how our defense plays.
Well, I do. I think the defense good. The defense is what makes Lagway have more of the what the hell is that plays.
But I'm just telling you, he can. You're right. Obviously, the defense is going to affect things, but I almost don't care. Because
it sucks that Mad Max is still out, Maxwell Harrison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he needs to get
better,
healthy. But DJ Lagway's play is going to decide this game to me. Very simple, black and white. That is it. If he plays out of his mind, we're going to lose. If he makes a lot of silly freshman mistakes, we win this game. And I think it's seriously that simple for this game.
Win the turnovers battle and win the line of scrimmage. Like we always say, really, I feel like it's just a broken record at this point. But for Kentucky to win games, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. So, but I'm just telling you, if Lagway has, here I am, I'm DJ Lagway, you're going to lose. It's very simple. If he plays bad, you're going to win. I think it's that simple. Now, I mean, obviously, it's hard to win a game. You know how you can't win a game? 0-0.
Yeah.
So, Brock and company, which I'll let you talk about.
Good thing we got Alex Rayner. At least we got him.
Heisman candidate. We are Iowa football.
If our holder wouldn't have screwed it up.
Yeah. But, to me, that's what's going to make the difference in this game. But Brock and the O have to move the football and score some points because, once again, you can't win a game 0-0. So you got to find a way to get something going on offense. And I will continue to beg and beg and beg and beg. Gosh darn it, can we get something going vertical? Please. Something vertical.
Please.
Florida, I watched that A&M game. They were able to beat Florida over the top some in that game. And A&M's not even really a downfield passing team. So this team can be beaten over the top. You got to make it happen.
You know what'll help them beat them over the top is the inside run game to open up the passing lanes, and that will lead us right to Chip Trainum being back and ready to take some of that workload, which is really, really good to see.
I'm excited about that. Speaking of that, Carson, I got a question for you. What are your thoughts on how Demo's been playing?
Who? What'd you say? Oh, Demo.
Yeah.
Demo Sumo Kongbe.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's a very patient runner. He has the patience. Like, I like that about him, but sometimes he doesn't hit the hole like I think he should. And I really, really like Wilcox. I think Wilcox should be getting more carries, but like Stoops said, and like what's going on where he's not tying his shoes, I don't know. I guess you can't really give him more carries there. But I think we have a really good running back room. In my opinion, I think we do. I just don't think they're being utilized the ways that they maybe should be.
I've got a take here, and you tell me if it's spicy or if you think you agree or whatever. Here, I would make this running back room, give Chip a week to get back in the groove of things, and then I would cut your running back room down to 2 with Chip and Wilcox. If Chip's we need to see him play. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that, and then he doesn't look great. He needs to play well and be good.
I agree, because Kentucky's one of the only teams to not have a rushing play over 30 yards this season, which is crazy because it just seems like we don't have the boom ability, and Wilcox brings that, in my opinion. So I think you're right. I think he brings the boom. But I think Chip, the power back with a Wilcox type of Boom Williams style running back would be ideal in my opinion. And then honestly, what I would do is move Sumo out to wide receiver and let him catch passes because I think he's a good route runner, has good hands, and can create plays. So I don't think you take him out of being able to play. I think you just move him. You saw him move
gadget dude
last season. So I think he can play a little slot wide receiver.
I think, Demi Sumo-Carme is the type of guy. I think that you can create gadget plays for him. So are you saying? I agree with you with gadget plays, maybe some bubble screens or end rounds. I don't know if I'm buying into making him like a possession receiver.
Not possession. I'm just saying he could play slot because I think some of our guys have troubles with route running, and I think he's actually a good route runner.
Yeah.
And so I think like plays over the middle that could get extra. Like if he gets the ball, it's like a 3-yard reception, and then he gets the ball and runs it for 10 more yards over the middle. Like that's something I would draw up with him. I think Bush Hamden could get creative and scheme him in other ways to help this offense.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, Carson. I need a key to victory. I need a score prediction. I'll give the same, and then we got to listen to Mike and his bull crap.
Key to victory, I think, is going to be creating big plays. I know we talked about the defense and DJ Lagway. I still think big plays are our biggest kryptonite. We don't get enough of them, and it kills us in every game. I think you need to have some big plays in this game, and you need to force turnovers. I think turnovers are the biggest thing. So those two are my key to the games. I actually think we win this one, which is crazy to say, but it's because Stoops normally goes up, down, up. So I think we win this one in the Swamp. I think it's going to be a nail biter, though. I think it'll be a really, really close game and good game.
My key to victory is getting pressure on Lagway. If you want to make freshman mistakes, get in their face, get pressure on them. That's what I want to see. Be in his face all day long, make it hard on him to make good plays. I think the Cats win this game too, 24-17, but it's the least confident I've been picking us to win this season. I'll say that.
I think you need to run more man coverage and let Lagway beat you this weekend. I think you need to make him beat you and put more in the box, rush more people, make him beat you. And I think that will work out in our favor.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, Boff, if you stuck around to this part and you were able to get out of the Build-A-Bear without any, any issues, enjoy this.
Good afternoon to all you loyal Wildcats Today listeners, especially Cam Boff, shout out. He beat Andrew last week in our fantasy football league. And, hold on. I'll just show this video real quick.
I have about 20 booked near where I live, near Clownsville.
Yeah, dude who's been doing this for 32 years. Full-time professional. Rated by One Family Magazine, #1 clown, 9 straight years.
Yeah, so as you've heard by now, Andrew lost to Boff's team last week, which is a really, really low moment for anybody out there that loses to that team. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get along with our picks. So we're going to make up for last week. Since I missed last week, I'll give you 2 picks. We're going to start off with Friday night football. We got Purdue and Oregon. Now, Oregon's coming off of a huge win over Ohio State, and I'm sensing something similar to Alabama whenever they beat Georgia. Now, I don't think that Oregon's necessarily going to lose, but 27.5 points on a short week on the road, it's a lot of points. So give me Purdue 27.5 and just a little sprinkle on maybe an alternate plus 14. Now the second pick, the king of the unders. We've got Auburn and Missouri. And I'm taking the under in that game. Auburn struggles to score points. Missouri's not very good, and Auburn has a solid defense. I think Missouri's very overrated. They're going to keep this game close. It's going to be within a touchdown either way, right around both teams having 20 points, and it doesn't reach the 51 points. Good luck and bet responsibly, gentlemen and ladies.
Well, how the turntables.
First of all, to be fair, Boff caught a stray in there as well. And Mike caught a stray from Golden Hour, clearly. But that's what the Godfather has to say. And I mean, American Sniper.
Mike is now albino.
Yeah, American Sniper is part of that too. But Carson, any thoughts before we call it a day?
Oh, that's all I got. My pick, I'm riding with the Cats. Kentucky money line. It's -1. You can get it at -1, I think, right now. But Kentucky money line is my lock. I think Stoops bounces back. I really do. I believe in the Cats this weekend. That's not to say he won't let me down later on in the season, but this weekend we're getting it done in Gainesville, and G5 Billy will probably be on his way out.
If you're feeling frisky, I say take Mississippi State to cover 17 at home against Texas A&M. I'm not going to call that my lock of the week, but that's my if you're feeling frisky of the week. 17 at home from Mississippi State.
He's frisky.
Yeah, okay. A little crazy there. Hope everyone has a great weekend. We got a little bit more Keeneland. We got we got a little bit more football, wave football.
Blue-white game.
Fun blue-white game, obviously. I'll be at that. Carson's talking about going. I'll be there working. Not going to be televised. Not going to be televised. So our show is going to break down everything that I see, potentially, Carson, if you go see, that we see in this game. Going to be a great show. Be excited for that one. We might
even going to be really interactive. The coaches are going to speak and walk people through it. And it's apparently some of the people that are going get to go on the court and be a part of it. So what if they let you go out there?
I'm playing defense. It's part of the surprise. I'm going to lock up Amari Williams. Just put that.
Can't wait for Andrew Carr to dunk all over you, and we can have that on video.
That would be great. That'd be a good intro to the podcast.
Yeah.
Hope everyone has a great weekend. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, helps us out a ton. Really appreciate y'all. And we will see y'all next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.